what you mean, where you been? Bitch, I've been in, this is merely the beginning again. What you been living in, the box under the bridge.
Yo, what's happening, guys? My name is Beasty and welcome back to the channel. And today we are returning with another reaction video. So I thought today we'd check out a video called Milk Chocolate from Scratch, How It's Made. If you guys haven't noticed, on YouTube there's been a trend of how it's made, reactions blowing up, and videos. And to be honest with you, I absolutely love the idea of how it's made, the production, going behind the scenes, and I love seeing how stuff is made. And today we're gonna check out how milk chocolate's made. And if you guys don't know, your boy Beasty loves chocolate like I absolutely love. I worship borderline sexualized chocolate. No, I'm not even joking. I love chocolate to pieces. It's probably a little bit of an addiction, I'm not gonna lie, but there's just something about chocolate that's so damn good. It goes with every holiday. Christmas, check. Valentine's Day, check. I mean, you can't pick a date. Well, Thanksgiving, but technically chocolate pie. Okay, whatever, you get the idea. Chocolate is hella good. So we're gonna see how chocolate's made. I honestly have no idea how they make chocolate. And I'm sure I do know, but I've kind of forgotten how they made it. I have a basic idea, I'm gonna say that, but still, something about seeing this is probably gonna screw up chocolate for me, maybe not, I don't know. Let's check it out in 3, 2, 1, chocolate. I'm gonna screw this up for myself and I know it. How it's made.
This factory makes chocolate in various forms and sells it to companies which manufacture chocolate products for retail sale.
Oh, it looks delicious!
It also supplies chocolate components such as cocoa powder and cocoa butter. Most of the cocoa beans arriving here come from West Africa, which grows 70% of the world's crop.
Hold up! Tell me how I forgot that cocoa came from beans. Somewhere along the line, I just forgot. I disconnected that chocolate wasn't actually synthetic. Like I don't know where did I get that from? What is wrong with me? Okay, this is why checking this is a good refresher. I'm sure you're saying, well, yeah, duh, obviously. I knew that too. It's just that I've gone so long without learning how chocolate's made, I completely forgot about it. All I remember is just the image of chocolate coming out of the machine.
A series of sieves
I bet that smells great.
Stones,
like coffee
and other
grinds.
debris.
I bet it smells great there.
Next stop is a micronizer, a revolving drum that heats the cocoa beans to loosen their shells.
Cocoa beans have shells? I feel like I'm so stupid. Those look delicious. They remind me of cashews.
Then they enter a shell removing machine called a winnower. Inside, successive rakes drag the beans across screens, pulling off large pieces of shell. Then, a vacuum sucks away the remaining smaller pieces. Removing the shell exposes the inside of the cocoa bean, which is called the nib. The factory will roast the nibs to develop their flavor.
Do people eat cocoa beans solo, like just by themselves? And for that matter, do people eat, of course they don't eat coffee beans. That was a stupid question. I don't know what's wrong with me, but can you eat cocoa beans raw? I'm sorry, no more pausing.
50+% of the nib is fat, which is cocoa butter. To make chocolate, they'll combine processed nibs, cocoa butter, and sugar, along with milk powder if they're making milk chocolate. First,
I love
the
milk
factory
chocolate.
processes the nibs by grinding them. The heat and friction activate the cocoa butter, producing...
That is the image that I remember from chocolate. Like, I know it sounds so stupid, but when people say chocolate, if you just said, how is chocolate made? I'll be like, it comes out of the little thing, and then they put it to like the little kisses or chocolate bars. I'm sorry, I'm just so stupid.
Friction activate the cocoa butter, producing pure liquid chocolate called chocolate liquor.
I would be
the
fat if I worked here.
factory extracts some of the cocoa butter to sell it separately as chocolate-making ingredient, and to use for in-house chocolate production, along with other ingredients in various proportions.
Hershey's chocolate.
The dark chocolate recipe, for example, calls for more chocolate liquor, sugar, and cocoa butter, but no milk powder. The recipe for unsweetened chocolate contains no sugar. The mixer blends the ingredients to the consistency of a very thick cake batter. The flavor is fine by this point, but the coarse...
I'm sorry, that looks disgusting. I keep forgetting that the stuff we eat and take for granted comes from a factory or a making plant where thousands of people and machines touch it. I keep forgetting that. Like, oh, this is where chocolate comes from. Like, look at all that goo, and then it was mixed in a machine, and then they added stuff to it, and it was a tumble machine to break away the shell and all that. I forget all of this, but then I stop and realize what happens. I mean, for God's sake, we eat eggs in the morning. Okay, that came from a chicken. And then you have turkey on Thanksgiving. Heads were severed up. I'm sorry. It's a really big wake-up call to realize where your food comes from. It's not a magic product that just appears on the shelf. A lot of work goes into it.
First texture needs to be smoothed out. So the chocolate moves to a refining machine, passing between a set of 5 rollers that reduce the particle size. So much so that within just minutes, the chocolate leaves the refiner as a fine, dry powder.
Yeah, I'm about to say that looks like sand.
But now,
Or
it
dirt.
needs to be reliquefied. So the next stop is a
Ew.
machine called a conch. The
Looks like
friction and
shit.
heat once again activate the cocoa butter, returning the powder to a liquid state.
Now that
At
looks
this
good.
point, they add more cocoa butter, enough to reduce the viscosity to the exact thickness they need. Just a bit, for example, if they're making chocolate chips, or much more if they're making a thin chocolate coating.
I love chocolate chips.
For chocolate chips,
Ooh, that looks
the
cool.
conch feeds a machine called a drop depositor. As the name implies, it deposits drops of chocolate onto a conveyor belt.
All right, here's one thing I want to say.
nozzle-
How much do these machines cost? I'm sorry for pausing, but the part about making the chocolate's interesting, but what I'm more interested in are the machinery. The machinery they use to make this. Like, who makes the machinery? How much does each piece of machinery cost? Like, something like this has to be specialized. How many people are going to be making chocolate chips? Surely a machine that makes chocolate chips like this would cost $1 million or something like that. Like, how much would that actually cost?
Trays
Sorry,
are
I don't know what I'm talking
interchangeable,
about.
so the machine can be set up to produce various sizes of chips, discs, or other
Oh,
shapes.
that looks delicious. I'd be at the bottom, just having them all fall in my mouth. Then I'll get fat
The
and sick and
chocolate
throw up.
chips, still warm and soft, enter a cooling tunnel. Traveling for
tunnel?
about 5 minutes through several temperature zones, which vary between 30 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. By the time the chips exit the tunnel, they're hard.
That's a lot of chocolate. That is a lot of chocolate. Holy crap. That's another thing I never
A
think
conveyor
about.
belt then takes
They're
them
all
through
just
a metal
bunched
detector,
together in a generic
a standard food safety
conveyor
precaution.
belt. And then they have to be packaged. What is
The
that?
factory also produces 10-pound bulk format chocolate bars.
Talk about
A
diabetes.
depositor fills bar-shaped plastic molds.
Oh, that looks like shit. That looks like somebody's taking a shit. Holy
The
crap.
conveyor transfers them to an elevator system, which moves through a cold room for about 2 hours. This constant motion ensures optimal air circulation,
Please show me the
helping
bar.
the cooling process.
You're not gonna show it? Oh no, come on! I wanna, I'm getting hungry. Holy crap, look at the chocolate cake in the corner. Look at the M&Ms. Oh my God, what in the hell is that on the left-hand corner? What is that? What is that? It's like a dick removing tool? What the hell? Anyway, guys, that's how chocolate's made. I'm sorry for talking so much, but that was really interesting. Okay, I wanted to hear the part about where the beans come from again. Hold up.
Most of the cocoa beans arriving here come from West Africa, which grows 70% of the world's crop.
So you mean that 70% of the chocolate we have today comes from West Africa? That can't be right. There has to be synthetic chocolate, right? I know that's naive to say and probably, frankly, really stupid. I know there is synthetic chocolate, but I mean, think about that. If something happened to West Africa, you mean 70% of the world's supply of chocolate would disappear? That's gotta be wrong. This is probably real high quality chocolate, like actual chocolate. I know there has to be a synthetic version of chocolate, right? That doesn't require a cocoa bean. There has to. Otherwise, somebody's doing something wrong because a lot of this generic chocolate just tastes like shit. Honestly, it tastes like shit. Regardless, that is really cool. I love to check stuff out like this because you forget where things come from, you know? Like you eat a turkey and you're like, okay, it's a turkey, but you don't actually think about the process of the plucking and the head coming off and the gutting. You never think about that. And then chocolate's just chocolate. But then you stop and think about, wait a minute, it came from a bean, went through a conveyor belt. You know, they had to add ingredients. It had to go through several processes, through a machine. Human beings probably handled it, and it's packaged up and then shipped off. You never think about that stuff. So that's why I love to check this type of stuff out. It makes you realize how much effort and work it takes to have something as basic as chocolate. Like, think about how much effort you'd have to go to have chocolate if some big giant corporate company wasn't manufacturing chocolate, you know? I mean, you would have to grow the beans, you'd have to go through the process of all the labor that the machine does for you, and then you might have chocolate and you would probably do something wrong along the line because you're a human that doesn't have very much intelligence. At least I don't. That's all I know. Anyway, guys, that's really cool. I love to check stuff out like this. If you have any more ideas for how this is made, whatever it may be, leave a comment down below. I'm gonna go buy some chocolate, and peace out.